Hi there, I'm going to do a video for setting up and embroidering two of the same thing at the same time. I have an order to do 200 masks for a friend's company, and so I'll also show you how I float. I do hoop a lot of what I do. If it's possible to hoop, I hoop it. I just find it easy to hoop. So, but for these, I have marked here and here because I'm doing so many of them. I know where I need to place it. If I'm using only one 5x5 hoop, I use the middle lines. I have, as you can see, a crease here that I have pressed. That's how I make most of my lines for placement, is by pressing the line, so I don't have to worry about marker or anything else. So I have these lines ready. I will fold it and get it placed where I want it. And then I'll put a couple of pins in. I don't put that many pins when I float. Some people use a lot of pins. I haven't found it to be necessary. I'm going to put 2 in here. And even that's not that necessary because I am going to use tape. The reason I need tape is when I go from one mask to the next, it sometimes will catch and mess everything up. So I tape it down so when the needle slides across, the foot doesn't catch here. So again, I went by the crease mark and used the line that I have marked. Unfold it and put a couple of pins in. My embroidery will be on this side of both of them. I'm not pinning in that area because I have to go fairly close to the edge. I find it easy to just poke the pin through and then push it up with my finger from underneath. Now I'm going to grab my tape. This is just regular painter's masking tape. Oops. And I will put a piece, let me get a bigger piece that ripped on me. I'll put a piece across here. And I will put another piece across the 2 circles. If you're wondering why a face mask is a circle, it's an anti-fog mask, and that's what it starts out as. So now I'm ready to embroider. So now I'm going to embroider the logos on these masks. I'm going to go into my edit screen and open my largest hoop. Now I'm going to go into files. I have this already saved, but I'm going to show you another way to do it. So here it is, ready to go, exactly how I need it. I would press OK. Hook up my hoop, and I'm ready to go. I know they're placed in the right spot because I've already done over 100 of them. I am going to start from scratch just to show you how I got it set up properly to be in the exact spot I need. So I'll go back to my edit screen and get rid of these. Now I'm going to go into the file on my USB and look for my file. And here it is. So I know that I'm going to have to make this 80%. It's a bit big. I'll move it right over to the edge. And I'm going to put it all the way to the top. I know that is too high, but just for a demonstration, I will do that. So I will press OK. And now we'll move over here and hopefully I can get to the right spot that you can see. Lift this up. Now, I'll do the outline. I'll move it to the bottom, so it'll be easier to see. Drag it down to the bottom. Okay. Now I'll do the outline. And that one is perfectly where it should be. Now I'm going back to the screen. Edit. I will copy and move the other one way up to the top. Oh, sorry, before I actually do that, what I did was delete this one because it's just easy to copy it later, just to make sure, because right now if I outline it, it's going to outline the whole thing all the way down, and I won't know for sure that the top one is in the right place. So I'm removing the bottom one. Okay, and then do the outline. And sorry, I forgot to move this, but it's hard to see back that far anyway. I know that I have to move it down just a little bit. So I'll do this and then back to tracing the outline. And that's perfect. So now out of this screen, back into the edit screen, and I will copy, move it down. Remember, it was at the very bottom corner, so I know exactly where to put it. If it hadn't been at the very bottom corner, I would just have simply counted on the grid to make sure I had it in the right place the second time. And okay. Oh, now one thing I forgot to do, I showed that on one of my last videos, but I will go back to the edit screen and click on this because I want the thread to, I want it to do the dark blue color, which is actually orange, at the same time, and then go back and do the second color. Okay, now it will be set up in 2 steps. One step and, whoops, one step and the second step. Now, oops, now I wanted to mention something about threading the machine. I have a thread stand, and I'm not sure how well you can see it. It's something my husband made. It is not pretty, but it works really well. And this is just a spring, and I pull the thread up over the spring. Oops. See if you can see the bottom part of the thread stand. So then I'll pull the thread up over the spring, which you can see up here, barely. and over to the machine. Now, one thing that is important that some people don't realize is when you go through this, did you hear that little click? When you go through this part right here, it has to click. And then thread it. Sorry, my arm is in the way, but can't do it from this angle. Here we go. Now, I wanted to mention about different types of thread spools because I do sometimes use the spool holder on my machine right here. But if you are using this type of spool, don't use the thread cap. If you use the thread cap, the thread's going to get stuck and it will, the thread will break at the very least, but very possibly break your needle. If I use this type of spool, I do use the thread cap because if you don't, it will just fall off. So now I'm ready to embroider. So I'm just doing this part of the video to show you why I put the tape in the middle. So when it crosses, if the tape wasn't there, it very often gets stuck under the fabric and then it makes quite a mess. So that's the